Ingrid, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing another TBR video. As always, I'm letting my TBR jar choose my TBR. We're now on to April. That's crazy, but anyways, I filled it up with a few more prompts, so I'm excited to see how this goes. In March, I did actually read most of my TBR. I have these two left and Shatter Me, and I'm just gonna put those back on the cart. And it's time to choose. I want to be smart with my choices this time and pick books that I actually think I'm going to read. I feel like right now the weather is really nice and it's giving like summer feelings. So maybe some romance, but I would like to mix it up and have a few different genres on here. So I'm just going to start by picking the first prompt. This one. As always, I can't show them to you because it always just turns blurry and it won't show. So I'm just gonna... A summer read. That's perfect. I just told you I wouldn't show you, but I'm gonna try. Anyways, it won't focus on anything but my face. It won't work, but it says a summer read. So a summer read. I feel like most of like the summer reads are romances, and I don't have a lot of romance on this card. I have the Spanish Love Deception. I don't want to do that one. There's still the Cheat Sheet and Book Lovers, but I don't really feel like it. Honestly, I feel like Addicted to You is giving me summer feels. The same with Flawless by Elsie Silver. I have that on the shelf behind here. I'm gonna look over here just in case. I don't know if this is a summer read, like if it's set during summer, but it's flowers on the cover, so I feel like that could work. Like it's giving summer vibes. The cover is really pretty. I'm gonna choose Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the third book in the Knock 'Em Out series. It's about Lucien and Sloane, which I've been excited for since I read the first one. I started this series in May last year, and I fell in love very quickly. And I did a video of me reading those books, and in that video, after reading the first one, I said that I hoped Lucien would get his own book as soon as Lucien was introduced. And here's his book, so I think it's time. I'm not completely sure if this is a summer read, but it's a romance and it has flowers on the cover, so it's just giving summer to me. I've been putting this off for a while because it's very thick and I don't know why. Like, I loved the first book in the series. I liked the second book. It wasn't my favorite. But this one I'm very excited for. I don't know much about it, but I know that Lucien and Sloane are kind of like enemies in a way. They hate each other, but they have a history. So I'm very excited to see like why they hate each other, like what happened to make them this way, and how do they go from that to lovers. So I'm picking this one as my first book. It's time for prompt number 2. Let's see what this one says. A thriller. I have a few. I don't think I have any thrillers that are in series, but I'm just gonna double check. No. So we're gonna have to go by the card. I have The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Is a book I really want to read. And also The Silent Patient. I know that's a very popular book, so that would be fun. The Midnight Game also is a book that looks really fun to me. I think I'm gonna do The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I don't know much about this book. I very recently bought this, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it and I love it. I think this is about, it's obviously a housemaid, and she works for a family, and she's like very jealous of the woman in this family. One day she decides to try on her dress. The woman finds out, and eventually the housemaid realizes that the door to her room can only be locked from the outside. That's all I know. I'm very intrigued. I want to see what this is like. I haven't read a lot of thrillers But I did read Rock, Paper, Scissors last year, and I really loved that one. So I decided that I want to read more thrillers. I can't speak. I want to read more thrillers, and I think this is a good choice. So this is my second book for April. I never said how many I was going to choose. I'm going to choose 6 or 7, but just so you know. So let's go on with the third prompt. An author I own multiple unread books from. I don't think there's any on... Well, I have Emily Henry, Tara Maffei, I don't know if I said that right, but the author of Shatter Me, Lauren Asher, ingridbakkabiz, Emily McIntyre. On here, I do have some books by Karen and McManus. I could choose that. I think I'm gonna do One of Us is Back by Karen and McManus, the third and final book in the One of Us is Lying series. I read those, I don't even remember, I think it was 2022. And I really enjoyed them, and I've been waiting for this one for a long time, because when it came out, it was like this big, and I didn't want that, so I waited, but now they finally have it in a smaller size, like a normal paperback. So I'm gonna read this one. I don't know what this is about, but it's... Well, this series have a few different... Like, the first and second book wasn't about the same things. Like, in the first book, it was one group of people who were in detention. One person died, and they were all, like, investigated for that. Everyone trying to figure out who did it. And then, in the second book, one of the characters' sister was in it, I think, and possibly the other person's sister as well. And there was some more, a little mystery for them. In this one, I don't know what this is about. It says, life hasn't been easy for the Bayview crew. First they had to prove they weren't killers, then a new generation had to outwit a vengeful copycat. Now it's beginning again. At first the mysterious billboard seemed like a bad joke. Time for a new game, Bayview. But when a member of the crew disappears, it's clear this game just got serious and no one understands the rules. Everyone's a target, and now that someone unexpected has returned to Bayview, things are starting to get deadly. Simon was right about secrets. They all come out in the end. I am interested and I'm excited to finish off the series. I currently own 3 unread books by this author. This one, The Cousins, and Nothing More to Tell. So it's perfect for this prompt. I'm gonna put this on my TBR. It gets me to read a mystery, which I love, and it lets me finish a series. So that's always good. That's book number 3. I'm actually very excited for this month. I feel like I always start very late in the month with reading. I always go through half a month before I start reading anything. But this month is gonna be different. A book that reminds you of your celebrity crush. That's a fun one. I have a few actually. I have The Essex Serpent. That reminds me of Tom Hiddleston because he plays in the show and I love that show. I have like I almost said Sherlock Holmes. I meant Shakespeare. Every Shakespeare book reminds me of... I can't think. I almost said Taylor Swift, but I meant Tom Hiddleston. Like, he's a Shakespeare lover. He's played a few Shakespeare characters, and I bought a few books that he has played in, either in like theater or in a movie. So I think I want to choose one of those. I also have like Normal People reminds me of Ben Barnes because he said he loved it. His Dark Materials reminds me of Ben Barnes because he studied that in school and he enjoys those books. And if I'm gonna choose someone like my celebrity crush, it needs to be Ben Barnes, Tom Hiddleston, Sebastian Stan, possibly Louis Tomlinson, but like, there's no book that reminds me of him. So I think I'm gonna do a Shakespeare book because those reminds me of Tom Hiddleston. I'm gonna go get my options and then we'll I can't talk! I'm gonna look through them together and decide. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with me today. Turns out I had more options than I thought. But I have Henry V by Shakespeare, reminds me of Tom Hiddleston because he's a Shakespeare lover and because he played Henry V. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Macbeth by Shakespeare. So I could do one of those because they remind me of Tom Hiddleston. most likely to do Henry V if I choose one of those, because he played that character. Then I have The Place of Oscar Wilde. This one reminds me of Ben Barnes because he played Dorian Gray in The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I also have Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. Tom Hiddleston has played in a movie about Nicholas Nickleby, but this is huge, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that used to classics yet. This one has a few different plays, but I'm not sure I want to read that right now, so I think I'm gonna choose Henry V. I don't know exactly what this is about, but I know that he's a king. Should I read the back of it? I don't know. Henry V is the most famous and influential of Shakespeare's history plays. Its powerful patriotic rhetoric has resounded down the ages, gaining eloquent expression in Laurence Olivier renowned film Henry himself. Astute and charismatic, who led his band of brothers to victory in the Battle of, I don't know how to pronounce that, could indeed seem to be the star of England. In recent decades, the play has attracted increasing critical attention and is now highly controversial. Kenneth Branagh's film production reflected the changing valuation. Does this play have a skeptical subtext which subverts in patriotism? Is Henry's achievement bested by irony? Has current skepticism distorted a predominantly and proudly nationalistic drama? Henry V demonstrates Shakespeare's acclaimed ability to bring new complexity to the material that he adapted, so that different eras may find within his work the familiar and the strange, the congenial and the harsh, the sustaining and the challenging. That didn't really tell me much, and the font on the back here, almost unreadable. But this is a short book, so I thought this would be a play. Here's the play, yeah. The introductions of these things are always very confusing to me. But I'm gonna choose Henry V. I am excited because one of my goals this year was to read more classics. And I really am interested in Shakespeare. I remember in grade 11 we had to write a essay or something about a historical figure, and I chose Shakespeare. Mainly because I wanted to mention Tom Hiddleston, and I did do that. But it actually got me intrigued. Like, when I told my teacher that I wanted to choose Shakespeare, she was like, "Oh, are you reading Shakespeare?" And I was like, "No." But I am now. So, let's go. Book number 4. I'm gonna put these back before I continue because I don't want to make a mess. Okay, book number 5. I wonder what that's gonna be. Like, I'm very interested, and I love that the 1st of April is tomorrow, it's on a Monday, and I don't have school, so that's perfect. I have time to read. From an author I've given 5 stars. I've given 5 stars to a lot of authors, but with the books I still have on my TBR, I have Ali Hazelwood. On this first thing, my only option is Bride, because Ali Hazelwood. On this one, I could do Book Lovers by Emily Henry, because I gave Beatrix 5 stars. I think I gave Shatter Me 5 stars, so that one's an option. I don't really want to, though. Other than that, it's Happy Place, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna read Book Lovers before that one, so that's not an option. Down here, there's no options, so we can look over here on this shelf and see if I can find something. Over here my options are Iron Flame, Twisted Games. I could do another Karen McManus books, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I can do The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, because I did give The Inheritance Games 5 stars. Or I could do the next book in the Shadow Me series, but I'm not gonna do that, because I'm not gonna read that series yet, and I want to read the whole series together. So I think, well, I am counting like everything in the Wizarding world as one series, but that doesn't even matter, it's the author. And I have given a few Harry Potter books 5 stars, so I could also do Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That's the one I'm on. The screenplay. But like I don't know. I have a romance, I have one mystery, I have a classic, and I have a thriller. So maybe I should do... I'm gonna do Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the screenplay. I don't know if you've seen the movie. I have really enjoyed it. This is about Newt, who, like, I don't even know what to describe him as. Explorer and magicologist Newt Scamander has just completed a round the globe trip in search of the most rare and unusual magic creatures. Arriving in New York, he intends his stay to be just a brief stopover. However, when Newt's case is misplaced and some of his fantastic beasts escape into the city, it spells more trouble. It spells trouble for everyone. I really enjoyed the movie, so I'm excited to read this, and I want to get through the series. And this is, like I said, a screenplay. I've only read one play before. I read The Cursed Child. In the beginning that was a little confusing, but I think I really got into it, so I should be better with this one. But now I have 2 plays, so whatever. I'm excited. I feel like I need another romance on here, so hopefully I get something that makes me choose romance. I'm gonna choose 1 or 2 more. Like, I don't want to overdo myself with books I'm not gonna be able to read, and I also need them to fit on my TBR placement in my book journal. Book talk picks. Okay, so for this one, I'm just gonna open TikTok, search book talk, and pick one of the books that I see on there. So we're going to open TikTok. Should I screen record? I feel like I should. So I can put it on the screen so we can all see it. Am I screen recording? Yes. So we're searching book talk. This is going too slow. I'm only choosing books I already have on my physical TBR. Get to the point. She's very pretty. She takes too long. Okay, I own a few of those. Now my memory is really bad. The Naturals, I really want to read that, but I told myself I had to finish the Inheritance Games trilogy before I did that. But honestly, I might choose that one. And what else did they have on there? If we were villains, we were liars. I saw another one that I was thinking I could do. I'm not gonna watch it again, so I'm gonna keep scrolling until I find something. You know what? I'm just gonna come back when I have a choice for you. So this was really hard because people either talk about books that I have read or books that I don't own. But I did see Addicted to You, which I want to read. I'm not sure I'm ready to start that big of a series right now. But I also saw a Caraval quite a lot. Like every book I saw like once, but Caraval I was on there multiple times, so I think I'm gonna choose that. Is it on here? I don't know exactly what this is about, but I think like once a year the infamous Master Legend hosts Caraval, open only to those who have been invited. This year the week-long game is on Legend's glittering Isla de los Sueños, where the winding streets are an elaborate snow-covered maze and the people are never who they seem. At midnight on the first day, the show begins and the visitors become players. Each of them is vying for the coveted prize, a single wish. All they must do is unravel the mystery of Caraval, but in a game where danger hides behind every charming smile, winning isn't without loss, and their wish might be their last. So it's time for me to read this. I've seen like a lot of people talk about it, and I've wanted to read it for a while. So I guess April's gonna be the month. I have 6 books. I think I'm gonna choose one more. So this is my last book. Hopefully it's gonna be a romance. Let's see what it says. A number in the title. I don't think I have a romance with a number in the title. V2 by Robert Harris. I have the Atlas 6. Please say I have something over here because I don't want to read any of those. Wait, I have books over there as well. I forgot about that. But I don't think there's anyone with numbers in the title. I'm not very happy right now, honestly. So we're gonna have to choose the Atlas 6 or V2. And I really don't feel like reading the Atlas 6 right now, so I guess we're gonna have to choose... Can't get that one out, so we're choosing the Atlas 6. I don't even know what this is about. I think it's about a school. It's like a magic school. 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. Once a decade, the world's best magicians are invited to join the elite Alexandrian society. Its members enjoy a lifetime of power and access to ancient secrets. But only 5 places are offered, so after recruitment by the mysterious Atlas Blakely, the candidates must complete a rigorous year of arcane study. Libby Rhodes and Nico de Varona are inseparable enemies and cosmologists who can control matter with their minds. Parisa Kamali is a telepath, Reina Mori understands the flow of life itself, and Callum Nova can manipulate desires. Finally, there's Tristan Kane, whose powers mystify even himself. The rivals must survive their trials, and if they can prove themselves, they will. Most of them. So this is my 7th book. I mean, it does sound good, and I know people love it. It's just so big, and I've been putting it up for so long that I don't really want to read it anymore. But that's all 7 books I'm choosing for my April TBR. We're gonna go through them very quickly, just to remind you of what I chose. Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. One of Us is Back by Karen M. McManus. Henry V by William Shakespeare. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the original screenplay by J.K. Rowling. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. And The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. So I have 7 books. Not as much romance as I would have hoped, but I guess it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun to read a few different things. I'm excited. Let's hope I get a good month of reading. Like, is there any books you're excited to read this month? Please let me know. Maybe I'll read it as well. I will see you next time. Peace out, lovers.